Okay, today guys, we're gonna take a look at the Barrelstrike and see if we can make some improvements on it. I'm hoping so, since I believe it has a pretty good sized plunger tube, and hopefully we can at least, if nothing else, just add a beefier spring in there and get some better performance out of it. So now we need to undo what looks to be a lot of screws for such a little blaster. So that's the only screw that's actually bigger. Okay, let's look at the internals there. And looks like the plunger is screwed down here. So we're going to have to get this back. Here's the trigger. And it's a jolt style as expected catch, which is what it is, I guess. Comes right out. Pretty simple. And this I'm just going to leave just like it is and move it aside, because you don't really need to mess with any of that. This is all we need to look at here. And then this just comes off. So we just set that aside too. And this is what we need to get into. And there's obviously some dead space here, but there's not much you can do about that. Let's go ahead and take the plunger head out. And obviously you don't want to remove any of the Smart AR system, or you basically make it a 4-shot shotgun, which would be terrible, because it's not going to be able to perform. But this does have a screw here, so this should be pretty easy. So we'll just unscrew this. Nice plunger head there. It's padded. They've been doing that a lot. We'll have to check the seal and make sure it's good here in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and try to find a spring replacement. And that is decent, but not great. I don't want to add too much power, because this catch is not going to be able to hold too much. So there's only so much your power, or spring power, you're going to be able to put on this thing, but we'll see what we can find. Alright, I'm going to give this Home Depot spring a shot. I also think that another spring that would work really well is like a 7 kg Retaliator spring from Orange Modworks or something like that. There's probably some from Nerf Turf also that would work well, but this is something I have, and it's a cheap option, something you can find in a pack at Home Depot, so I figured I'd give that one a try. It is exactly the same length, but it definitely has more coils and is thicker, so the question is, will we get enough compression? But we'll just have to put it in there and find out. I really don't know if this is going to work, but this is what modding's all about. Is you kind of, it's like trial and error, especially with spring replacements, so we'll just see what happens. We could probably make that a little bit better, so I'm going to actually take the O-ring off and put some electrical tape on there. To do that, you're going to have to take off all the lubricant so it'll stick, and then re-lubricate it with some silicone grease. So the O-ring back on. It actually still has quite a bit of lubricant on it, so we might not need to re-lubricate. That's really nice now. So about 2 wraps seem to be pretty good for me. Yeah, it really tapers in about this point. That's where a lot of it, the compression happens. So we weren't getting much of a seal back here, but now we should be getting more of a seal back here, and then hopefully it won't be too much up here, and it'll still go all the way to the top. Should, with the higher spring power, shouldn't cause too much friction there. Alright guys, so there's actually an air hole in one of these. It's probably the last barrel, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the first, I'm not sure, but there's an air hole that I'm going to attempt to plug, and hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. I think it'll be fine, but they've added a hole there for whatever reason, so I'm going to plug that up with some E-tape and call it a day. Okay, so Home Depot spring is a no-go. That's definitely just too many coils, and can't get compressed enough to work. So I would recommend going with something like this, which is a 5 kg Orange Modulus Retaliator spring. But basically anything where you could add to the stock spring here, which is another option. There's lots of options, I'm sure, but it has to get compressed pretty far down to be able to catch. But you definitely, I would recommend keeping a spring that's at least as long as the stock spring. That's just my recommendation. That should work well. As you can see, those are basically the same length. And this is a bit beefier than that, so it should add a little bit of power. And we've increased the seal, which I think will help a lot too. Okay, so I've actually added a 5 kg Retaliator Orange Modulus spring, and then I don't know, I added a spring over it. It might be like a strong arm spring or something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but hopefully that'll work. We'll see. If not, I know just the Retaliator spring will work fine, and we'll put it back together and see what we got. Make sure this part is facing this way. Yeah, this should only go in one way. You don't want to put it the other way around. Okay, guys, we're going to see what this thing can do. Hopefully the readings work, because it's still a little overcast and rainy out, but hopefully you have enough light to get us a decent reading here. We'll just have to see. 91. Error. 75. 68. Try that again. These aren't even brand new darts, guys, so probably could be even doing better. And these are elite darts. These are the Rebel ones now, but same difference. 89. 76. 70. 62. So because of the way we taped off the first barrel, that's the one that shoots first, the one that had that air hole, is going to shoot the hardest, and then it gets less and less each time, as you can see there. So, all right, guys, let's see what kind of ranges we can get here. I don't have the tape measure laid out, but I can give you a decent estimate of what they're doing here. I'm sure it'll be much improved, as the FPS readings were much improved. Almost, I was getting 50 when it was stock, and now it's as good as 90 FPS with that first barrel, so much improved there. That was about 70 feet. 65. Much better. Maybe just a little bit short of that. 63, 62, something like that probably. And that one's always the shortest, that last barrel. That was probably about 50. These are not brand new darts, so they could probably be doing even better if I use brand new ones, but they're not that used. Wow, that one came out with so much power. It kind of hit the wind here. We got a breeze now. Alright, keep going. I think we're shooting into a little breeze here. But much more power out of this thing, that's for sure. And those were much shorter for whatever reason, but I think it's because I was shooting into a bit of a breeze. And those are pretty light darts, and that affects them quite a bit. But nevertheless, pretty good performance out of the Barrelstrike now. Hopefully that mod guide helped you out. And as always, peace out, guys.